Hey everybody, this is our recap of our Dancing to Slow Music class.
And this is Mike.
This is Joanna.
Alright, so we started with just some stepping, so we'll turn this way.
So we had our halftime steps, which were one step every 2 beats. Okay? Then we had our single time steps, when we needed to switch back and forth between 2 feet, one on every single beat. Then we go back to our halftime steps. Then we had our quarter time steps, right? We're leading with our hip on these, very slowly transferring from one side to the other. We want to make sure that every step that we take is a process. We don't want to rush and quickly get and stop on one side and then rush and stop. We want it always to be continuous, smooth movement.
So thinking about really moving slowly like you're going through molasses or pushing the slow-mo button, and we're rolling through our feet.
And don't rush the beat. Yeah.
We then partnered up in a more side-by-side kind of position. And the hold we have here is a little bit more of a ballroom hold.
Mm-hmm.
And the leaders are going to be slightly ahead. So,
right. I always hold Joanna back this way a little bit.
And we just took those same steps and moved them forward, taking our time with them, and trying not to add any kind of Lindy Hop pulse to it or anything. We're just
keep it nice and smooth.
Yes.
Smooth.
We also moved backwards.
And we changed the tempo. Remember changing from our fast to slow, right?
And then we also worked on being in a closed position.
So closed, we're offset, of course, right foot between your partner's 2 feet. And we can do these same steps, nice and easy, a process on every single step. Really nice and easy. And we can change the tempo on those as well.
And did we moved forward and back with
Right,
these?
we walked forward, we walked back. Yeah?
And then we switched between the two. So the transition for that, if we were side by side,
Would be do, not, do, right?
so the leaders are moving in front of the followers. And then so that's getting into that closed position from a side by side, but Mike also showed getting out of it too. So if we are already in a closed position, getting into a side by side position is just basically opening up.
Mm-hmm.
And then we did getting on.
Oh yeah, the question was, what happens if you get on the same feet, like both right feet stepping forward at the same time? This will happen, and sometimes maybe you want to do it on purpose. But if it happens by chance, we both walk forward with our right foot first. There's nothing wrong with this. And we talked about ways that we can utilize that for effect. See if we can find room to go back this way. Right? So, utilizing that. Making sure that after we've committed our weight, we go an extra little bit on that side so our partner can get their foot around ours.
Yeah, and we talked about how we need to be pretty close for that to happen, right?
We also talked about doing a rock if we're on the same foot. Yeah, kind of like how Lily rocks, leading with your hip forward, hip back. Getting out of this, we talked about leaders taking 2 quick steps in the place of 1 slow step that the follower is doing to get back on the same foot.
And this is to get into it as well as to get out of it. So if the leader wants to get into this, so I didn't feel that at all, and maybe we can show going this way too, so that.
And that's the point. You don't want your partner to feel that.
That's right.
You want your partner to feel like it's the same as one of those regular halftime steps. Yeah?
So it would be the exact same thing to get out of it as well.
Yeah.
So so the other thing that we did, we'll cut that out, yeah?
Yeah, we'll cut it out.
Actually separate first to show it.
So
We did
a rock step replacement,
yes.
which instead of rock step forward, which you can still use, there's nothing wrong with it, but one that we like is back together forward, where we're actually moving our entire body back then forward, right?
We talked about this also being in Balboa as well. So as long as you're sure to commit your weight going back and then forward. So back, back, forward. We can also do this the opposite way, but we'll show you partnered first.
So we have shoot, do, back, back. Anytime you're moving backwards, you can shoot, do, back, back. You can also do it forward and then back. Shoot, do, back, back. We find that really nice.
Yes.
Okay, next we did a bunch of different moves in this sort of open closed position. We called it Copen position, but that's probably confusing. We don't know what to call it just
So the first thing that we did actually is a turn, which is sort of like a connected side pass.
So what we're doing is halftime, 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 separate, ooh, ooh, halftime, halftime. So it's single, 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 single. You just walk through that. And we're separating, then we do our rock, step, 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 closed.
And both the leaders and the followers are taking the same steps here.
Yep. So shoot, do, da, da, do, da.
And then we did some fun things in this slightly closed, slightly open position as well. So that was coming from one of these turns, which looks like this.
Do, da, do, da, do, da, do, da, da, do, yeah? So we're doing a little bit of a crawl. And that's just our heels, toes, keep it nice and smooth, not like Lindy Hop styling, right?
Right, everything nice and smooth. For the followers to get into this, we were talking about the followers going with their toes first and leaders going in opposition to
with
that.
The heels first.
And that's how we kind of work off of each other here. And then we also, we did that showing you continuously, but we also did that going back into a closed position as well. So you can do either. We also did ochos.
Mm-hmm. So after we've gotten into this position, we can take a nice wider stance, leaders, and lead the followers into these nice crossovers. I'm opposing her instead of going with. This is a lot harder, okay? So make sure you're opposing your partner, and that'll help it work better.
Right. So for this, the followers were moving to the right first as the leaders moved to the left. So we have this, and then to get out of it, we did a little
On this
turn.
side, we turn it into one of our turns to get back.
And we did get into it from our little crawl, so we can show that too.
So if we do, when the follower's on the correct side, you can close it back up with that nice turn.
And then we did one last little thing, which is our finishing move.
So just from our halftime steps, pivot around, and a nice half moon on top, a little pointed toe on the bottom, That doesn't have to be an ending move, but it'll make a nice ending move or a nice little move in the middle of your dance too.
Yes. Thank you all so much for taking our class, and
Great work, everybody.
we'll see you next time.